Dan Campbell spoke on Brian Branch. You know, people seen him in the boot. Said that he had a cleanup procedure, I believe on his lower, I think his ankle or his foot, he had a cleanup procedure, and that he should be ready for training camp, or bare minimum, he should be ready before the season starts. So let's talk about it. You got Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And the subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, Christian Chance notifications. So yeah, you know, a lot of people was worried about, I meant to get to this video, got time right now. A lot of people was worried about Brian Branch's being in a walking boot, you know what I'm saying? And we done seen guys after games of walking boots, and then they played the next week. He had a cleanup procedure. Who knows? Burn spurs, calcium buildup. Who the hell knows? In his, I think it was his left, one of his lower extremities. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they said they expect him to be ready for training camp, but for sure at the latest before the season. So there's been a lot of talk about them bringing another safety in. Eddie Jackson, Justin Simmons still out there. They did bring back C.J. Moore after the gambling situation. He got suspended for a year. You know, it was talks about him kind of moving more to that natural safety position where he at. And a lot of times that one of them safeties, sometimes they drop in coverage and they still cover nickel and tight end. So he'll still have man-to-man coverage situations. He just be playing the deep half a little bit more. For the most part, it's damn near the same position in my opinion. You know, being a strong safety, you in the box, you more run support, playing that nickel position on run downs. You know, that's what people basing their defense off of, is nickel. That's what people base defense. In the NFL now, it's nickel. Now, back in the day when like Terrell Davis and them niggas were playing and shit like, what's my man's name? O.J. Simpson, and not him. I was thinking about Eric Dickerson and Jim Brown. You couldn't play that nickel defense. You had to bring in your linebackers. You had to bring in a regular front seven. Now today, they're not running with physicality like that no more. You know, now they passing more on first down to open up, you know, the passing and throwing on second and third down. So, you know, so for the most part, he's a linebacker slash, you know, DB anyway, playing that strong safety. You know, you can play the deep half of the field more, but a lot of times they putting them in the boxers, run support. They guarding tight ends one-on-one. That's things he doing already in nickel. You know, tight ends going to the slide, or he guarding tight ends on them base, them tight end I formation, single back sets. You know, the difference is, you know, playing safety, you play the deep half a little bit more. You robbing, you playing single high, deep half a little bit more. You ain't as much in, you know, man-to-man coverage. So I wonder, will he be even in a better safety than he is as a nickel back? You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, he's huge on what they do. But you know, Rackstraw, you know what I'm saying, Amick Robertson. So he really ain't got to rush to get back. They got two guys that can step in and play nickel back, and you know, he really don't have to rush in and get back at all. So he literally can take his time, heal up, and those guys can serve other purposes as well too. They can play outside corner. You know, don't be surprised if Rackstraw plays some safety as well too if they need be. So they got a lot of depth in that position. That's what you need, because you know, those guys fill multiple, you know, purposes across that defensive backfield. But Brian Branch was the best defensive player for like the first 6 to 8 weeks last season. Then he kind of hit that rookie wall a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And you know, they had a lot of issues with their defense, you know, in their defense, had a lot of injuries. So they was hella thin back there. So without no pass rush, the first people that's gonna suffer is the nickelback, is the cornerbacks, is the DBs. Especially you can't jam them past 5 yards, you can't hold, you can't touch these guys. You know, the NFL will be a lot more interesting if they can get physical with the defensive with the receivers again. So, but you know, he was the best defensive player through like the first 6 to 8 weeks last year. Aiden Hudson, then you know, he turned the key in ignition, and then you know, once he got going, you know, Brian Branch, you know, he kind of started to hit that rookie wall a little bit. So year two, him being a little bit better conditioning, you know what I'm saying? Year two, you know, with him knowing what to expect and possibly playing more safety, going to safety, I think it should be interesting, him going back to his natural position. But he'll still be asked to guard those receivers and tight ends from time to time. But him in the deep half of the field, he might get more interceptions. Him going to the box to fit, you know, as the extra that safety creeping into the box. I like to kind of see him come downhill a little bit more. You know, I would love to see it, man. But you know, like I continue to say, man, he's a problem. He's a problem. And you know, with them just having a lot of guys, I think we might be surprised who might be the starting corners this year. Even at nickelback, we might be surprised. You know, week 1, you might see some surprises back there. You know, because Melifano was that utility guy. He can play corner, nickel, safety, strong safety, the number 1 corner. So he does he serves a lot of different purposes. Branch can play nickel, safety. Kirby is more of a deep safety, more of that free safety, that Roman guy. Kind of when, you know, El Malafano went out and, you know, he had to guard, you know, tight ends and nickel and slot receivers one-on-one. He struggled with that. He coming off of hip surgery too. So, you know, I think them loading up at DB and still looking for another safety. I think it's due to some of the injuries that they got. So CJ Moore also serves as a really, really, really good, respectable special teams player as well too. So, you know, so yeah, I honestly look forward to seeing it. But with Branch, with Brian Branch, I think for him, you know, he can take his time. Him and Kirby can take their time. You know, with just the depth they got behind him as a DB, and I think they're probably bringing another safety as well too. But I also think you don't want to take too much of your time because your spot could be gone like that. You know, so we'll see. They got some injuries in the secondary going into the offseason. You got Kirby with the hip. You got, you know, Branch the ankle cleanup. He might be ready right before the season, right during training camp. Who knows? But yeah, but they got the personnel to sustain the blow. You know, but you know, you don't want too many more blows in that secondary. You know, that's what I will say. So yeah, I mean, I look forward to seeing, you know, this secondary materialize, to be honest. I really do. I look forward to it. But yeah, Branch, I think he's one of those guys you're going to see probably healthy take a big year 2 leap in the back end. He's going to take a huge year 2 leap, I think, man. Him and Jack Campbell, and I'm going to speak on Jack Campbell when I get a chance. They're going to take monumental leaps this offseason. So, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and the subscribe button. There's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Okay, lady, you taking all day. I'm sorry, dude. She literally doing like 5 miles an hour, man. Like, come on now. But yeah, hit the link tree. I'm everywhere. She got Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Peace.